To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
All right. Hi, I'm Travis, the King of Source Point, and you're watching The Experience.
Hey, here we are. It's got to be Monday.
Station.
You're awfully chipper, Robbie.
Yeah, it's just been a great day for me today because I've just been watching that Will Smith, Chris Rock video over and over, and it's just been a really good day.
Dude,
all the meetings.
I did not watch the Oscars, but I saw clips of it. You know, I must have been like kind of sort of half asleep last night. And I'm thinking maybe it was a shtick, right? So it kind of woke me up a little bit, and I realized it was not a shtick. All right, it was probably the most exciting Oscars there's ever been. Adrian, what's going on, buddy? Let's see. Okay, well, we're going to cover that. Actually, that was Robbie's topic of a conversation. That was Robbie's topic of conversation on Friday. Maybe this will be the topic of conversation this coming Friday on his show, the Will Smith thing. Well, first of all, it was definitely the most exciting Oscars there's been in several years. I remember years and years ago, I guess this had to be over 20 years ago. I mean, we have an office pool. It was like March Madness. You know, they handed out what you think was going to be Best Picture or, you know, Best Actor. Or blah, blah, blah. And it was like a lot of hoopla around it, you know, and everybody's asking everybody at work, are you going to be watching the Oscars? Now it's, you know,
yeah.
It's not even a thought in my mind that I would actually spend any of my evening watching that. I'd rather watch old episodes of Star Trek, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? Now, I used to be a big Oscar head, right? And so, like, I would fill out the form, and I was really good at it, like trying to guess who was going to pick what. But I lost interest years ago just because I don't know if Hollywood lost touch with me or I lost touch with Hollywood. But, you know, most of these movies I never even heard of anymore.
Amy just rolled in, so I think she has a comment on this particular topic. Go ahead.
I still say the craziest thing that ever happened was how they messed up the Best Picture announcement.
Dude,
like right behind it.
Dude, Will Smith walked up, to Chris Rock and smacked him square in the face. And, you know, I don't think getting the wrong name in the envelope goes anywhere near that. I mean, he literally physically assaulted Chris Rock on national television. Stevie B, no John. John is, to say, that's a good one. Stevie B goes, no John, I was waiting for him to slap Rex as a rating stunt. 62 Lefty, JD Barry, what's going on, guys? To me, there's no way. I mean, that was literally, that was just bet. Okay.
Not even Kanye West went up there and slapped somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like he went above.
That wouldn't even be as bizarre.
Kanye West.
This is Will Smith.
I know.
You know, I mean, we're all expecting Kanye. He's like one step away from doing something totally crazy. All right, but Will Smith, pretty well loved, obviously a superstar. In tremendous range, and then wins Best Actor. I mean, that's what's nuts. A few minutes later, I mean, to me, that's
yeah.
62 Lefty says the slap was staged. I swear, I thought it was.
I thought it was at first. Everybody in that room thought it was at first, but Will's reaction. Now I get it. Will's good enough of an actor. I mean, he obviously won Best Actor this year, but Chris Rock, I don't think is that good of an actor. And that dude was shook after that. Like he just wasn't on track from that point forward. And you could tell that he wanted to say something, but he didn't. Took it like a champ, I guess.
That was, I have to admit, that was one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. Let's see. So 62 Lefty believes the slap was staged. I don't know, man. I really don't know. All right. So JD says it wasn't. John Spilios in the house. What's going on, buddy? It was just, I don't know.
It shouldn't have happened, but I can't say it's the worst thing to ever happen. It shouldn't have, but
it's got to be the weirdest thing that's ever happened in an Oscars, man. I've got to straight up say
it's one of them. It's one of them for sure, because the Oscars is usually so like highbrow.
But
how can it not be? I mean, another human being who's a major superstar slapped a presenter on stage. I can't think of anything that's stranger than that.
Yeah, not even Ricky Gervais had somebody come up and slap him, and he pushed some buttons. But
so Stevie B says, I saw the clip. He was laughing at the joke until he saw Jada's face, and she obviously did not take to it. Josh went, hey, what's going on? Thanks for joining us, bud. There's footage from the ad break. I mean, I'd have to say, I would agree with Josh's statement is that Will Smith does have some issues because, look, the whole thing with the two kids, that's weird. Okay, how that whole process worked, but it was Will Smith and it was Jada, and so we kind of gave him a pass, I think. Now you're seeing that kind of sort of dysfunction there. I mean, you're on national television; it's a live broadcast. Okay, now granted, Chris Rock, probably not an appropriate joke. I'm not defending the joke, but to walk up to the stage and smack the guy, I mean, I'm sorry, man. That's out there. That is.
I agree. You should have done it. I just think both of them should just sit down, talk it out, and if they can forgive each other, then let's drop the whole thing.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Okay,
on a positive side,
yes.
On a positive side, Dune won a lot of Oscars, cinematography, best score, things like that. So that's awesome.
Because it wasn't Blade Runner 2049.
Oh man, every opportunity.
Okay, you guys want to see a slap? Here it comes. Okay, here it comes. All right. I'll play the role of Chris Rock. Okay, Amy's gonna play the role of Will Smith. But yeah, I gotta agree with JD. Two millionaires, try two gajillionaires. Get into a tussle. They make up, they kiss and make up. They don't. Who cares? I mean, I don't. I mean, maybe they care, but now I did hear. That Chris Rock, up to this point, has declined filing charges.
Yeah,
which I think is probably the high road to take there. If he wasn't really hurt and that type of thing. But Will, I gotta be honest. I was always a fan of Will Smith. I even watched his crappy movies like I, Robot, things like that. And I have to say I've lost some respect for him. It wasn't an appropriate joke. After the show, at the after party, you pull Chris Rock aside, and hey, if it came out in the news, you punched Chris Rock at the after party, I would almost be okay with that.
Yeah.
But you're in the middle of a live show, man, and you've got all your colleagues sitting around you, and that was neither the time nor the place, for that to happen. And I thought, and again, who was it? I think Stevie B said he was laughing at the joke the whole time until he saw Jada's face and Jada rolling her eyes, and then he gets up and starts going nuts. So I mean, I just don't get it.
It was definitely one of the most surreal live
JD,
pop
you keep
culture
iRobots
experiences
coming out of your mouth. JD, if you've ever read the book, they didn't even come close to it. Okay,
you can keep that movie, JD. It's all
I
yours.
still think he should get hate on it for the rest of his life for it. Like, did he make a mistake? Yes.
Listen,
But-
listen. Let me say this.
Well, a lot of people think the mistake was made by Chris Rock, that he went too far, and comedians go too far, and it was about time that somebody.
They're both in the wrong here.
I'm sorry. You don't walk up on stage and slap people.
I'm just telling you. I'm glad I live in a world where this clip is available and I get to watch it whenever I want.
Over and over again.
Just cheer me up.
I just say they're both in the wrong. They just.
I'm going to disagree with you in one way. Okay, and what I mean by that is for every single person that was sitting there in the Oscars, your entire career, most of them make $1 bajillion. Okay, the gift bag was $100,000. I heard. Okay, just for you to show up, your entire career is built on your appearance to the public. All right, and that's how you're making this sort of money. And if you don't have enough self-control, it's more than a mistake. If you don't have enough self-control, to hold it together until the end of the show, that you're going to do this on national television, live national television, you know what? If people stop watching your movies, you deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. You know,
you're not going to let him try and make up for it.
How are you going to make up for it? You already did it. What are you going to do? He still has not apologized to Chris Rock. His acceptance speech said nothing about Chris Rock. Okay. You know, and if anything, he tried to make an excuse of it, you know, saying that, oh, you know, love will make you do funny things. Okay. I mean, he made a joke. I mean, Chris Rock made a joke. All right. So let's see what Ron has to say. Will Smith, in doing what he did, shows that he needs professional help. I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that. That should have been handled in private. And the fact that you thought it was okay because you're Will Smith in front of all of these other people waiting to hear if they won or not lost or whatever, okay, to go up on stage like that and smack Chris Rock over a joke that was not a great joke, but it wasn't like, I mean, when they have the press dinner that they have where they roast people, you know, and they roasted Donald Trump, and that's why he didn't go when he became president. I mean, those are really vicious. Those are really vicious jokes. And the person sitting there taking all that, and it's not just one person making a joke, it's person after person after person getting up there to roast you. You know, the joke was not appropriate, obviously, because of what Jada's facing. But again, it wasn't like it was over the top kind of inappropriate, you know? Certainly, I don't think it warranted him walking up on stage and smacking Chris Rock. I really don't know that there's anything that anybody can say at that point.
At least we know one thing for sure. There will never be a roast of Will Smith. That would not be in the best interests of anybody.
I've always enjoyed Will Smith. I've enjoyed his movies. He's a local, you know, hometown Philly boy. I've always been a supporter. I watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, not the new one. I saw the clips for that. I was just like, nah, that's not for me. But Marcus, that was nuts. That was just LAPD was there and should have immediately cuffed him. Our side is not built to allow people to sucker pop, folks. I would tend to agree with that as well, Lars, man. You know, but the fact that Chris Rock declined to file charges, which I thought was pretty cool on his part. Not escalating it to that next point. I'm sure his jaw's pretty sore. Diddy was out there trying to release statements that it's all you know, good and whatever. And you're right, JD. It was an open hand slap, not a stabbing. But the point of fact is the timing, the place, and all of that. Okay, you can't say I forgot I was at the Oscars. You know, I forgot that I'm surrounded by hundreds of my colleagues. I forgot that it's being broadcast on national television. All right. You know, people ask why Will was not escorted out of the venue, but if that had happened, then that Will would have had a complete meltdown. And then you would have had a real silent thing when they announced that he was the winner.
I know. They were like, what do we do? He's going to win the award later.
Yeah, right. It's like, well, Will's not here to accept the award because he's being processed.
Yeah, I bet there were tons of people like in production were probably like, is this a bit? Did they like, what's going on?
Could you imagine in that control room? They're probably freaking like, what did I not get that memo? Was I not copied on that memo? They were going to do this shtick.
It's a strange, surreal moment in pop culture, but
that had to be, if you were in production on that live, because I understand something that big and have to produce it live. There's all kinds of challenges that go on, and you got to be sitting in that control room watching this go down, going, what happened there? What do we do now? Do we go to commercial? What do we do? You know, and it's clearly somebody made the decision. They did go to commercial after that, I think. But man, I have to admit, that was nutso. That was nutso. Joel, there is a mega pack, buddy. All right, so let's get started real quick. We'll go back to this, and we'll talk about Robbie's topic from Friday. We don't stop talking about the whole Will Smith thing. Let me see. You know what, JD, I got to tell you, he had a perfect opportunity when he won and the acceptance speech to just reach out and say, you know what, I didn't appreciate the joke that Chris made, but I shouldn't have done that. Like Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler.
Again.
And
he shouldn't have done it.
He didn't say it. He had a chance. He had a second chance to work his way out of that problem, and he didn't take it. He didn't take it. He apologized, to his colleagues, and those waiting to win, but he did not apologize to Chris Rock. Okay, so that to me was his shot. If there was any chance,
well, and not to derail even more, because we are gonna start selling comics, y'all. Trust us. But apparently,
I don't know,
this is something that's
we'll talk in commercial. Okay.
Apparently, this is something
come back when you hear us pick up on it again.
This is something that's been brewing apparently with Jada and Will and Chris Rock over the last few years. Apparently, they made a big thing when he hosted the Oscars. They were going to boycott it because he said some jokes about them or something that they weren't cool with.
That's not what I heard. I heard that the boycott was happening because Will wasn't being nominated for something that year. And I think that was the key, and that was why she was boycotting, and so on and so forth. And then Chris Rock did,
he made a joke. That's right. He said, "Well, y'all weren't invited anyway."
Right. But again, I forget what the joke was, but I read it. It wasn't, it was.
Isn't that when he said, "Well, y'all can boycott, but nobody invited you," or something like that?
What it was. Yeah.
But how dare Chris Rock make a joke as a comedian?
Yeah, I mean, what's he do for a living? He's a comedian. So let's start like we always do. Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles, cover price $3.99 or higher. So a suggested retail of $40 or higher. As always, as a thank you to our viewers, we have the 10-pack available for $5. All right, and then I'm going to go through our best offer items, give everybody enough time to get their offers in. If this is, I know our regular viewers are tired of hearing me say this, but if this is your first time watching the show, we have two types of claims. We have a buy it now claim where we're going to throw a price out there, and the first person to claim it in the chat will walk away with it. And then we have a best offer of the night claim where we'll give you a starting price, and then whoever claimed has the best offer at $7.55 right before the end of the show will be the winner of that particular item. And the way to claim something is throw it up on the chat saying, I claim whatever book it happens to be. And then thank you, JD. After you do that, please fill out the submission form. That gives us your real name matched up to your screen name. And of course, the all important ship to address so we can ship it to you. Will Smith, slap that like button. Hey, if he's watching this show, which I highly doubt, he may be coming here to slap me or Robbie.
There's a comic book panel that I found online today, and I shared it in our Facebook group for Pop Culture Philosophers, and it's from a Spider-Man or a Daredevil comic, and it's the Kingpin slapping somebody, and he's like, "You mentioned my wife." Like, he literally says, "You mentioned my wife," and he slaps him. I was like, Will Smith's the Kingpin. He's trying out for the Daredevil role. He doesn't know if Vincent's going to come back, so,
Oh, my God, too funny. But, all right, Marcus, here we go, buddy. All right, so our first best offer book of the night, Venom Legacy number 200, number 35, but Legacy 200. Stegman variant signed by Ryan Stegman. Suggested retail of $69.99. It is our first best offer book starting at $20. All right, so that is available tonight. Brandon, what's going on, buddy? The Batman slapping Robin memes. That's always been around. Now it's gained more relevance. Let's see. So, JD, do you have that one, buddy? There we go. All right, so signed by Ryan Stegman. In silver, it is number 2 of 35. So that is the best offer. All right, Lars Man, I got you down, buddy. So Lars Man is starting us off at $20 on this one.
Such a fan of Ryan Stegman. I was such a fan of this entire Venom run. His artwork is great. It harkens back to the big explosiveness, extreme nature of the 90s, but with a solid rooted, firm ability to tell a story. So I really, really love Stegman, and him and Donny Cates work very well together. They got some new stuff coming out soon.
All right, so that is available until $7.55, and we'll announce the winner right before. So the next best offer book that we have for the night is let's see, Star Wars #1 facsimile. This is not the first print, the original facsimile signed by Howard Chaykin. Suggested retail of $69.99. It is one of our best offer books, starting at $19.77.
Very cool.
And it is 15 of 125, and Howard Chaykin has signed it in silver. If you're looking for the signature, it is right below Luke Skywalker's knee. So I swear a gremlin deletes my cover pictures to annoy me. So that is also a best offer book that is available tonight. I remember reading that when it first came out.
Oh yeah. I like so they like the first like what 5, 6, 7 issues of that is like just an adaptation of the movie script or something. And then right after that, they're basically doing Magnificent Seven in Star Wars. That second arc, that second story in here, I think it was still Thomas. I don't know who the artist was. Fantastic. That's a really, really good Star Wars comic book story.
Yeah, that was a really interesting story. The fact that they had to start creating the comic before the movie was even released. So, you're going to see different things. Things that don't match up to the movie, and that's why. I even put the big oversized one with the complete story. I remember that, man. I read that
Treasury edition or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
I read that until it was literally falling apart. All right, so that's available tonight. And all right, let's go to our next best offer book. Thor's #1 signed and cover sketch art of Gore by Ken Hazer. Always a huge Ken Hazer fan. Robbie knows that, and all of our regular viewers know that as well. It is suggested retail of $89.99. It is a best offer book starting at $20.
This is a good one to pick up because Gore, the God Butcher, is going to be in the new Thor movie coming out this summer, played by Christian Bale. So this won't stay this price for long. I tell you that.
And again, I'm a huge Ken Hazer fan. I mean, it's just amazing what he can do. And we're trying to get more stuff obviously done by him as quickly as we can. But apparently he's busy doing stuff, like real comic book stuff.
How dare he?
I know, right? What's the matter?
Y'all keep him. You keep him on all those variant covers for Dynamite. How's this dude have time to do any sketch covers, man?
I guess that's true. So Lars Man is going to start us off at 20 on the Thor's #1. Got it, Lars Man. Got you in there, buddy. So let's see. Brandon says he's not much of a gamer, but he heard the new Halo show has zero to do with the game. I have not actually watched the Halo show yet. And I have to admit, Halo was at this point, unfortunately, I went to a friend's house who had his son was there, and he convinced me to play Halo with him. And that was the game I was telling you about. I think it was on your show, Robbie.
Yeah.
There were just, the joystick had way too many buttons and things. And somebody just kept killing me every time I came back to life. And I didn't even know where the person was. They were just sniping me and probably laughing their butts off.
Yeah. Some 11-year-old.
Right. Yeah. Down I go. I'm like, where is the dude? My friend's son finally kicked me off the game. I guess I was not playing up to his skill level. So he had enough of my fumbling and bumbling around. All right. So next best offer book, Miles Morales, Marvel Tales #1, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is a best offer book starting at $30.
It's a great cover, isn't it? Look at that.
I know. And Miles Morales. All right. Ron is going for 25 on the Thors. Gotcha, Ron. I know that Alec feels that Miles Morales is going to take off.
I mean, has he not already? Like, has he not already taken off?
Yeah, I mean he's already real popular, but I think that talking to Alec, he thinks that he has not reached the ceiling, so to speak.
Oh, I don't think so either. I mean,
Yeah,
because
so
there's more Spider-Verse movies coming, and we haven't even gotten a live action series yet or anything, right? So
right.
He's going to be in a movie, live action, or a TV show. He's going to be utilized more as time goes on. He's going to become accepted as he already is. He's Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Right. He's just like a Deadpool, just like a Harley Quinn, just like a Hellboy. These are newer characters over the last 30 or so years that have stood the test of time. Venom's another one. Here's something I want to point everybody out to. What's the common denominator in all of these characters that have worked? Black, red, and white. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, they all have those same colors.
All right, so Ron is in for 30 on the Miles Morales. Gotcha, Ron. We got you there, buddy. You're good. Lars, man. Fowler. Oh, man.
Yeah, I think he could do it now. I didn't think he'd be tough enough at first, but now I think he could do it.
I was thinking about stuff we would talk about. I definitely want to talk about the paper from your show on Friday. But man, Will Smith really gave us something else to talk about. That's for sure.
He gave the whole world something to talk about for a long time.
No doubt, right? That was crazy. Jaden is up for Miles. Not anymore.
Nah, Jaden will be fun.
All right. So our final best offer item, Women of Dynamite, Deja Thor's statue, limited edition, black and white, artist proof. Suggested retail of $275. And it is a best offer statue starting at $75.
That is a dope statue, obviously based on J. Scott Campbell artwork. And
yes.
the tiger, the cat, whatever creature that is, obviously a Martian, animal, looks awesome. This is awesome. What's the dimensions of it? Because it looks like it's going to be huge.
It's pretty big. Hold on, let me get Space Cadet. All right, Space Cadet, I got you. You're up to 50 on the Miles Morales. And hey, Amy, if you don't mind, if you could pull the dimensions on the Deja Thors for me, that would be awesome. All right, and let's see. All right, so there we go. Okay, so that covers all of our best offer items. And remember, you have until 7:55 to get your claims in on best offer items. We'll do a recap from time to time, and JD will throw up a clock as we approach the 7:55 mark, so everybody knows. Okay, so Lars Man is at 75 on statue. Got you, Lars Man. All right, cool. So that takes care of best offer. So Adrian asked for Jaden. He's already made 2 songs for Miles. He's okay making songs. Asked for playing him. Let's wait and see. All right, so Space Cadet is up to, let's see, 85 on the statue.
Nice. Station Miss Jen. So as far as Miles, I always thought the kid, what's the character's name? Walt or something, but the kid from Stranger Things. I heard one time that he was being rumored around to possibly be Miles. I think that would be great because he's a really good actor in Stranger Things. So that'd be cool. All
right. So Ron is up to 65 or 55 rather. I'm sorry. On the Miles Morales. I got you, Ron. Cool. But yeah, I'd like to see somebody new. I mean, I saw what was the second Karate Kid with Jackie Chan. I saw him in there. He was okay, but he didn't really feel like, all right. So Jen is up to Space Cadets up to 60. I didn't think he was all that though. You know what I mean? It was an okay movie. I'm glad I watched it. Yeah, Karate Kid. Yeah. Well, they tried to stick the same storyline, and obviously the Karate Kid was well known, obviously.
Kung Fu's Chinese, though, right? Kung Fu's Chinese, so he was learning karate.
Yeah, well, it took place in China, and it was Jackie Chan and stuff, and so the
remake took place in China.
Yeah, it took place
because Jackie Chan's Chinese. Right. You're right.
That's
I didn't even think about that.
Or not Miles Morales. Jaden Smith was, Daniel San, and his mom gets relocated to Beijing for a job. And that's how he meets Jackie. Yeah. Did you not watch the movie, bro?
No, I never watched the remake to Karate Kid. Come on.
Oh, my God.
I saw that train wreck coming. I avoided that one, man. I was like Neo. It was like dodging bullets.
Yeah, I thought the kid was okay. But, I mean, now would I want to see him as Miles Morales? Probably not. I mean, there are a lot of good actors out there that probably could play the role. So that would probably be.
Well, how old is he now? Choice. He's got to be. He's up there in age, right? So you're going to want somebody younger than Tom Holland, right? Aren't they near the same age or something? I don't know.
I have no idea. Yeah. I mean, I guess. I mean, that movie was made years ago. So I don't know. It's just, I'm feeling like, you can, get an unknown like a Tom Holland, who was an unknown prior to, playing a role of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talented artists out there. And, I feel like Jaden's gotten, everything handed to him because, his parents are Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, Adrian, thank you. He's 23. So, I'd love to see a new actor come on and oh, thank you, Annie. So it is that a 12?
Yeah.
Okay. So it is 12 inches high. The statue, this is the statue, guys, 12 inches high and 4.5 inches at the base. All right. Nice. So those are the dimensions of the Deja Thors. So Josh says, now we know how Jaden got cast. Lots of Hollywood agents with some bruised cheeks. I mean, the kid's had a very easy life, walks into a role, with Jackie Chan. Why? Because, I mean, does anybody look at him if his dad's not Will Smith?
Well, I mean, doesn't Will Smith was the executive producer on that, right? Like somehow along the way, Will Smith, through probably one of his many production companies that he's probably got set up, acquired the rights to Karate Kid. He's still listed as an executive producer on Cobra Kai, for instance. So are we really surprised that he's learned some moves, over these years?
What, you talking about, Jaden or Will Smith?
Will Smith being the producer of Cobra Kai, right?
Anyway. Because that's quality martial arts there.
Well, I mean, he had a nice kind of movement. He put up a hand for blocking just in case. And anyway,
I got to tell you, let's see. After Earth, I think even Will gave up on him. Yeah, probably. I got to say that the whole incident kind of, it's hard for me not to kind of lose respect for the guy. Being as popular as he's been, we're willing to give him a pass on a lot of things, but that's so over the top. It really is. It's just a, you would expect your children to have better self-control than that.
Huh.
So that I found, just brutal. Oh, it's 6:32. So we have to go to our first break. So we'll go to our first break and we'll be back in a few minutes. Stay with us.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of to be continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today. Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
All right. So Ron, let me see here. Ron, Adrian is correct. The Miles Morales is at 60 at this moment. So and then Lars Man. Okay, let's see. Star Wars. You're going to start us off on that as well. Awesome. Thank you, buddy. All right. So I'm going to put you down for 1977 since that's the opening offer. Unless you tell me you want to go up to 20 cents.
Yeah, he wants to honor the special edition re-release in theaters in 1997 that they did, celebrating its 20th anniversary.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll put 1977 for you, buddy. I'm going to save you that 20 cents. Even better. There we go. So now on Friday, we had an interesting conversation, topic of conversation. Okay, so Ron is bidding 70 on the Miles Morales. Gotcha, Ron. You know what? Let me throw another book up there. I forget who. Somebody from last week wanted to see Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, but we had it graded. So we're going to do that next. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, #1, signed by Tom King. It's just at retail of $69.99. It is $38 tonight for 1938 when Superman first appeared in Action Comics #1. It is 5 of 59. So limited edition of 59, and it is number 5 out of 59.
Nice.
So Robbie brought up an interesting conversation. Apparently, I guess last week, a lot of retailers, a lot of LCSs got their Marvel shipment in, and the paper quality was less than desired, I guess.
Yeah, we're already getting less than desired paper quality in general from Marvel. This was basically like gift wrap tissue paper. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that you put in a gift bag to fluff it up at the top. It was like that. And so here we are a few days later, and I was running my numbers, doing the number crunching today on the shelf counts, and yep, significant drops in sales on the books with that paper quality because customers saw it, they didn't like it, and they don't want to buy them. And now a bunch of retailers are stuck with them. And like we talked about on Friday, retailers complained. Marvel said they're not going to reprint them, but they're not going to use this paper going forward. But there are going to be at least like 2 or 3 more weeks with some of the books like this. But we also pointed out that they intentionally did it with their lower selling titles. So it seemed like it was a test to see how far they could take it. But as a retailer and as a fan, very sorely disappointed. And the comments and the reaction from everybody seems to be disappointment, right?
So Ron wants to know why in the world Supergirl would need a sword. That is a very good question. Adrian says decapitate a pirate.
Yeah. In this book, in this story, she is depowered throughout most of it.
So Jen says that they addressed that. It was either not print or accept that paper shortage is real. And Marcus, Supergirl needs to cut a cake. That's a good one. A supersized cake. John Spilio says because of the red sun. So I mean, we kind of dipped into it. And not knowing anything, and everything that I'm saying is an assumption, based on just an assumption, is that because you had brought up a point that the indies out there did not have the same problem, and I attributed it to when you're talking about Marvel and DC, you're talking about an organization now that is so big that the advantage that the indies have is because they're smaller publishers. Everybody that's involved is somehow a comic fan at some level. Okay, so years and years ago, Death of Superman is when I got into the comic book business as opposed to a collector. I know that years ago when I worked for Dynamic Forces, every Wednesday would be New Comic Book Day. Now I wasn't an active, buyer at that point. I read Dynamite titles or whatever, but I wasn't actively, I didn't have a pull list. But several employees did, and it was an event because we would go and all of us would have lunch. Some of us would leave a little later, and then those that had to go pick up their pull list would go. So it was like a Wednesday event, and we'd stop at this local joint and have lunch together. So really, those that work in the indie publishers tend to be, what do you call it? We're comic book people, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
When you get to a big organization like Marvel, if you're only looking to fill spots with comic book people, you're not going to have enough employees. They're just too big. So it wouldn't be beyond the realm of possibility that this decision was made on an accounting side. Somebody did the numbers and said, hey, if we switch to the cheaper paper, look at how much we're going to save. And for the number of books that they print, it could be substantial. Not realizing the intangibles of being a comic book collector or reader, that you give me this flimsy paper and I'm going to get angry. And I don't think they anticipated, obviously, the kind of pushback that they got.
Yeah,
So,
and I saw that there are people because I think Miss Jen said that they addressed it and they said that it was either accept this paper or not, and due to the paper shortage and stuff like that. I find it. I'm an untrusting person when it comes to organizations, corporations, and governments. And so just by nature, I'm always trying to question, and I know that I know what it's like to make a mistake and have to kind of justify it. So I do not ever put it past any corporation to kind of kayfabe up their response to a situation like
right,
this.
right.
You know what I'm saying? But I think it is intentional because it wasn't on their biggest it was not on their big titles that week. It was on their weaker titles that week. And that's the thing that makes it so seems somewhere somehow a little intentional. I think it was a test, a trial run to see if we could dip down a little bit more. Yeah. And then they were like, well, that's and the product looked bad. And and if Marvel knew that this was going to happen, they should have told us ahead of time that this was going to happen and reduce the rate on those books.
Well, JD brings up a good point. The advantages of smaller publishers, they don't require as high of profit margins to satisfy investors, and they don't have as powerful a brand that can survive reduced quality. And that's very true. I would agree with that statement. Where Rubenstein, hey buddy, thanks for joining us. And Prestonation, thanks for joining us as well, buddy. Let's see. I had brochures printed last week and they didn't have the paper I wanted. I had to get cheap paper just to print something. Yeah, I don't doubt that there's supply chain shortage, but I also have to say that the point that Robbie brings up is it'd be too much of a coincidence that this happened to the less popular titles, and large corporations, public companies, they live and die by the quarter. So, any kind of cost savings is a win for shareholders and executives, So, and I agree with what you're saying. So it clearly they got a pushback that they did not anticipate. And Josh Wentz says it's a continuing pattern too. Once is an accident, but Marvel has been reducing paper quality well before COVID was ever a thing. That's true too. I mean, because I hadn't really thought about it. And when Robbie presented the question as our Friday topic, I went and did a little research. Yeah. And some of the complaints date back to 2014, so that was way before the pandemic and stuff. So Large Man says, I think most Marvel titles are printed in Canada. You could get paper in Canada, just not here. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe where Rubenstein is actually in Canada. So if he couldn't get the paper in Canada, there's something to be said about that. But
yeah, but look at the size of the accounts, right? And I don't know Rubenstein, so I don't know how many brochures or whatever, but like we were talking about with the indie publishers, I know that and DC too, the other big one, not just Marvel, but DC of course has a smaller line right now, and they're dealing with the same things, the same supply chain issues and paper shortages as well. Right. But they're able to keep pumping out good content. Now, in general, their prices are a little bit above Marvel, just a little bit. It may be like $1 more on average, but it's a higher quality product than at least that. But then you got the smaller press, like people like Scout, people like Mad Cave. It makes no sense to me. Look at the account that Marvel would be to a printer. That's who they're going to try to take care of first. You know what I'm saying? Business. Right. You're going to take care of your large money-making accounts first. So it seems weird. That's all.
So Ron, I apologize. There is no mega pack tonight, but I will have 2 on Wednesday. But I did bring you the statue, like I promised. Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is that the market usually adjusts. So obviously the cost of paper has gone up. See, Disney should just buy Charmin and they can just sell dual purpose comic books. But won't the ink rub off?
I mean, and it's nice for Marvel to be like, we're not going to do this again. But for instance, they're not going to reprint them. So they're not going to say, okay, pulp them and we'll print out more to satisfy, the demand for the higher quality or the not so bad quality paper that we're publishing with. But they're not doing that. There's just retailers are going to be stuck with these books because as I've seen, I'm not, my shop doesn't represent all shops, obviously, but those books dropped significantly more than we were expecting on those issues.
I could see being a test run from their standpoint to see how far they could push that limit. You know, it certainly is feasible. I mean, and given the length of this problem, I could see that as well. You know, and I don't think that the comic, how do I put this? Those that work there that are connected to the comic, I'm sure there was somebody who said you can't do that, or, you know, that's going to be a bad idea. It's going to come back to haunt you. But if you don't understand the nature of comics and what drives a comic collector, what drives somebody to an LCS or a pull list or whatever the case may be, you don't have an understanding of what it is that comic book collectors and readers are doing what they're doing, because you can't understand the whole concept as a whole. And if you're, say, from an accounting portion of the company, you know, to you, if you don't understand it, you don't understand it. So you're not going to understand why inferior paper quality would piss anybody off. Not realizing how people, you know, view this.
Yeah, but they know how things print on poor quality paper. And that was one of the terrible things, was that the oversaturation on this thin paper of the ink ruined some amazing artwork. And that's just a slap in the face to the artist, in my opinion.
So John Spilio says, shouldn't the artist be upset too, since it really didn't help show their work to its fullest? Well, you know, Robbie just addressed that point. Here's something I think will be interesting, though, and I brought this up during your show, is that assuming that there's, you know, assuming that they don't solve this paper quality immediately, what you're going to find, I'll do the next slab in a second, Ron. What you're going to find is all those books, if something significant happens and spec value begins to grow, getting one in a good condition is going to be very expensive. And I brought up the Wayne Gretzky card as an example, the OPC Topps card that came out his rookie year. And the reason that a Wayne Gretzky OPC or Topps 10 is so much more expensive than, say, a 9 or an 8. The reason is because that card was horribly miscut, so it's way off center. And it probably something at the printer, the guy didn't tighten the sheets enough, you know, when it went through the cutter. And so they're all like horribly off center, you know. And to find one that's actually centered is very, very rare. And that's why there's this huge price difference. I'm talking like, you know, ridiculous, like 5 figures difference between a 10 and a 9. Let's see, this happens every time, and this is JD. This happens everywhere all the time in retail. You can watch over time as the contents of food containers go down by 1/10 of an ounce. That's true. Yeah, that's very, very true. All right, so let's get to another slab book. Let's see. All right, so we have Amazing Spider-Man number 55, second printing variant, CGC graded 9.8, suggested retail of $89.99, and we have it tonight for $79.99. Let's
nice.
see. Yeah, lower quality at increments that you don't notice. Yeah, that's true. You know, it does happen, but I think in this particular instance, they missed the mark. You know, because of a lack of understanding of what comic collectors are looking for, why they want something. You know, although it should have been, you know, maybe not to an accountant, because, you know, Upper Deck, when they came out in with 1989 with the Wayne, not the Wayne Gretzky, the Ken Griffey Jr. card, they were in such high demand. And the reason was Upper Deck did something that had never been done before. The cards were printed on thicker stock. The cards had a hologram on the back of it. And the quality was just so much better than the stuff that Bowman and Fleer and Topps were putting out, you know, churning out at the time, that there was a very high desire to collect those cards. So that's a lesson in, it's a comic book. Where's the quality lie? The quality lies in the art, the story, but then also the quality of the stock of the book itself.
Yeah, the physical artifact itself, you know, the tactile experience, the actual, like, that's why we will spend, collectors have proven time and time again that we will pay outrageous amounts of money for very well done, hardcover, nicely bound, beautiful artwork collections of things that we love, you know, so quality matters.
Yeah, quality matters. And I think that was missed. I mean, I think maybe the accountants understood that, well, you know, You got to get the good artists. You got to get the good writers. You know, you've got to do all this stuff. But they forgot that issue of paper quality, and that it's probably more obvious in trading cards, I would think, only because they're, you know, it's a trading card, so the value is tied into two things: the athlete and the card itself. You know, there isn't a pool, you know,
just like with the trading cards, you were talking about like how Upper Deck kind of, you know, upped the ante a little bit with their card stock, right? And so like, yeah, I remember like when I was a kid, all trading cards were like super flimsy cardboard almost. And then we could go back and talk about newsprint and comics, but once they learned to move to things like Baxter paper, and then they experiment with the high glossy stuff, but now we're in an age where we know what's out there as far as paper stock and how certain things print on certain things. And there's no excuse for that anymore, man. We know, like, Marvel knows that people want a high quality physical product. I mean, I guess the point is, like, how much do they care? I guess.
Well, I think they're finding out how much people care. But, you know, I think I forget somebody saying that they thought it may be a push to digital comics, and that's why they're doing this. That I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily it. But I've heard also from people over this weekend, since we've had that discussion, that even in their high dollar omnibus editions and high dollar, like, big, thick trade collections, I heard that even the stock is going down on those too.
Yeah, I've read that as well. So to answer JD's question, Upper Deck is still around, but they lost a lot of licenses. So they are not the company that they were back in 1989 when they first stepped on board with the MLB license. Let's hope Will Smith didn't buy any one of those comics last week. Marvel exec.
That's what we should do to Marvel Comics, right?
Smack. All right, you know what? Let's do a CCA. So we have Deadpool number 50 with a Deadpool sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $89.99, and is one of our 5-star books at $50. So that is one of our CCAs. Man, I love his stuff, dude. I really do. It's just unbelievable what he can do.
That's really great too. X-Force era Cable. X-Force era Deadpool from that run where they were all wearing. I loved it when they were all wearing like silverish gray and black with the red eyes. Wolverine, X-23, Deadpool's up in there. I love that run.
So, you know, I'm interested to see how they solve this problem, you know, in terms of, do they go back to what they were already pushing out prior to this last incident, or do they go a little bit further with better paper, better stock? Who knows? Who knows? Lars, man, he only did the one half. He'll do that sometimes. Artistic freedom, so to speak. So, let me make sure this is not a. I'm pretty sure I checked, but I don't think it is a wraparound. Let me see.
You just wanted to make sure we got that sword hilt in there, right?
Yeah, gotta have the sword, man. All right, so let's take a look here. Okay, yeah, I did check. The blank is the back is blank, so it is only the front. And sometimes I don't think it was a connecting cover. Sometimes what you guys see is a connecting cover, but sometimes we lose part of it, or, you know, something gets shipped and one half gets damaged. There's an idea. That's not a bad idea, JD.
It's one of those things where it's like, finish the drawing of the horse. And so it's up to you to try to finish the drawing of Deadpool.
It was like those artist tests that they used to for art school that you'd see in those ads.
Yeah.
So let's see. So where Rupenstein says inexpensive digital could supplement print, make books profitable without needing bigger print runs. That's true. But, you know, that brings up another issue that we've discussed on Robbie's show is, you know, what happens to the physical collectible itself? And once that's gone, what happens? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the backlash that the industry's always gotten against that has been from the retailers. You know, in specific, I'm pretty sure the retailers were, especially when the idea of digital comics first came out there was a big fear in a lot of retailers that they were trying to undercut them. Right.
Right.
And so that's why they are still day and date the same price, though after a certain amount of time, they can start dropping down. So that's part of an agreement, I think, made with retailers, whether it's I don't think it's agreement on paper, but it's just something that has been approved as the industry standard there. But then later on, you can get it. Now, the big problem with digital comics, or it's not even digital, it's just scanned comics, is piracy, right? And so a lot of people equate their fear of comic piracy as money out of our pockets. They equate that with digital. And I think that's I don't think that's right. I think that's I can't think of the term right now, but that's a misguided way of thinking about digital versus piracy, I think.
I would agree with that, in the sense that what's to stop you from, just making a copy of it or whatever. I would agree with that, because it hasn't really happened with books per se. And yeah, it would be very easy theoretically to just hack it. But, you go to Kindle or whatever, you're still buying the books. They offer free books.
Yeah. False equivalency is the term I was trying to think of. I think that's a false equivalency. The other thing is that I have seen this time and time again, at least in my experience at my shop and on my channel. People that come in reading digital usually become physical collectors. Why? Because they want that nice hardcover, nice edition with the great paper stock, that great physical artifact.
You've mentioned that before. Dwayne's a pain. Hey, what's going on, buddy? Is saying the same thing. My concern is, and I use this example, I think, with you. It's like the tobacco companies, and what I mean by that is obviously one of the biggest things that they used to do when it wasn't illegal, they would market to a younger generation, and most of their marketing dollars was focused on that. Because why? Those that were older, middle age, or even older, they're already addicted to the nicotine. All right, you don't need to sell them; they're addicted. And then somebody realized, you know what? If we project 20 years out, our customer base is going to die. They're all going to get lung cancer, drop dead.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do, right? So you would market to the younger people now. That's true, JD. They are. So with that being the case, my fear is that you have a whole generation coming up, right? And it's like long playing records and all that stuff. What happens when you have an entire generation that really doesn't have an attachment to the physical books, and they're okay with it all being digital, just like music, just like everything else that's happened. And once the generation of us that remember comic books and has that nostalgic kind of feeling to it, we start to die off. And then you have a whole generation that's maybe never picked up a paper book at all. Yeah. They've read it off a laptop or their iPad or their phone or whatever.
Yeah, but there's a lot of youth right now. So if you want to really focus in on the youth and how to bring new young readers into comics, we got to look at how they're consuming media. How many people have their parents have like 70+ inch TVs, but they still watch their Netflix on their cell phone?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? True. So the way that younger people, the younger generation consumes media is way different than even my generation and your generation.
Yes.
So
I would totally agree with that. We
got to adapt to that. And manga does that. Manga does that, and it still leads to insane, record-breaking physical media sales. So
I have a very good example concerning that in my own life. But we're at 6:59, so we got to take our second break. So we're going to take a second break. Be back in a couple minutes. Stay with us.
This is The Experience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey there, hi there, hello there. You're as welcome as can be.
Hi, I'm Nancy McCann. Welcome to Friday Night Live on The Experience.
Welcome, everybody. It's Fat Jack's Comic Crypt. Brendan, Al, Jason, hanging out.
There I am. Welcome back to Kicking It with Henry, folks. I am your host, Henry Kumpa. It's great to be here with you guys.
So we are going to talk about books that are in stores this week.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mishmash.
Hello, and welcome to the Black Comics Universe, presented by Peep Game Comics.
And you gotta love it that the first people in the minute to skim it are creators.
Up, everybody! Welcome to another Wednesday Warriors. My name is Joey Galvez, and this is my pal Ambrosia.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Space Cadet.
Hey!
What's up?
Welcome, everyone, for another episode of I Must Ask You a Question.
Hi, everybody! Welcome to Nerd News Now.
Hey, this is Rex. Welcome to Comic Collectables.
Hey, hello, all you happy people. Welcome to the Dan Wickline Show.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the crazy show that we do on Thursdays called What's in the Box? What's in the Box?
Comic culture and sales.
All right, and we're back. So the point you were trying to make before we went to break, it's very true. So a few months back, I thought my TV was busted, and the TV's not, it's a little older, and I couldn't get it to turn on. So I'm like, oh man, now I'm gonna have to go buy a TV. So I'm looking on Best Buy's website, Walmart, Target, whatever. I figure I just got to run out and get one, and turns out, so I was busy and it took me 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And I know that when I was growing up, if the TV at my house went on the fritz, I would lose my mind. Okay. I mean, that was how I communicated, I viewed the universe, so to speak. My daughter for 3 days did not even notice that the TV was not working. Turns out the dumb cat, pulled the plug from behind the TV. So that's why. So then before I actually clicked it into my cart, I went back just to double check. I'm like, man, I plug it back in, TV works fine.
I'm glad you noticed.
Did not even notice. I think it was day 2. My daughter came down from her room, grabbed something out of the fridge, and she goes, oh, is the TV not working? she didn't even notice. So I know for a fact that the way that the younger generation is getting their media is changing. It's changing dramatically. So that's why I have this concern of, what happens when you have a whole generation that just doesn't have that nostalgic attachment to the books itself. I agree, you might be able to convert some, but is that number enough to replace the rest of us? I don't know. Yeah. And I think that's definite danger there that we're looking at. So we'll see what happens, but clearly digital is here, and I know the power of it. Because I stopped buying books. Bookstores have gone to the wayside. I have a Kindle. I'm even willing to read it on my phone when I'm traveling. I just use the old man font. So, I probably get a third of a page onto my screen, but who cares? I just keep swiping, right? It's no big deal. I'm not really concerned about the number of pages that I'm consuming either. So, so I can see that. But for books, it's a little different. Because books are, I think people are less concerned about the medium of which you're consuming it, because it's the words that make a difference. It's not the physical book. I think paperbacks killed it. Audiobooks, there you go. But I'd be honest with you, Dwayne's a pain. I'm not a big fan of audiobooks. I don't like somebody else reading to me. I want to read the words myself. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like there's a different, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but I have never really been a big fan of audiobooks. I know people have, popped it into their car and listen to books while they're driving. For me, I'm okay just listening to music when I'm driving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I like audiobooks like nonfiction, because to me it's like kind of like just listening to a podcast or something, Right, so I don't really do fiction. I like to do that myself because that's more about me personally through the words and my reading. Kind of creating this world visually in my mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
And hearing somebody else's voice delivering the sentence, I think changes that. So, but let's get to our next book. So the next book up is The Walking Dead number 146, ultra limited blood red signature edition signed by Stefano Guadiano. Suggested retail of $59.99. Tonight it is we have one available for $19.92. It is a limited edition of 25, and this one is 16 of 25. Yeah, great cover there. So, I mean, I'm hoping that the physical book will be around to stay for a long time, but, you know, I don't know. So JD says it's definitely a different part of your brain. I get distracted with trying to listen to an audiobook, but I can read focus for hours. I would agree with that as well. Let's see, Lars Man, at Josh, the weight of these books is also a problem. Yeah, I mean, that's another physical problem. I mean, so I think digital has its place. It allows a comic reader to read a higher volume of comics without having to worry about where you're going to keep it. And that's very true for me and Kindles, because when I used to travel to Asia, I mean, that's a long flight, and you're not going to be able to get paperback books when you get there. So in order to have enough books that I could read through the trip, I'd have to carry like 6 to 8 paperbacks, and that's even in paperback form. That's a lot of books, man. You know, so you know, you put 3 in your carry-on bag, and then, you know, I try to load the rest of them in a suitcase that would get checked in. But you'd have to physically carry all those books, and more times than not, I would run out. I'd read too fast and run out. Now, in current age, it's fantastic because I download the book. I used to even have it was a Kindle, I guess they called it Fire or something like that. I forget. And it had a bigger screen, but it could do such a limited amount of things, and it became another thing to carry. I finally got used to reading it on my iPhone, and it works fine.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was something I didn't have to plan ahead. I didn't have to go to like Borders or Barnes and Noble and go shopping and whatever and look through all the books that they may or may not have. Yeah. And I want to say that what Kindle did was it expanded my reading, because I would usually chase after certain titles by certain authors that I knew. So, you know, whether it be Isaac Asimov or Frank Herbert or whomever it would be, Robert Heinlein, you know, these established writers, for the price I was paying for the physical book, you know, I'd stand there for hours trying to read the back of the book, trying to, you know, and decide whether or not I'm going to dump like $4.99 into this book without ever knowing. And if I, you know, there have been instances where you buy a book, you don't like it. With Kindle, and especially with Amazon Prime, I would get a certain number of free books. It would be like a library. You get a certain, you know, you get a certain number, and then you have to give some back in order to get more. And there would be free books by unknown writers. And then you could, of course, buy the more classic books if you wanted. But I was more willing to take a chance on an unknown, because what's the worst thing? It's a free book on Kindle. I read it. I get half, you know, a quarter of the way through it and go, oh my God, this is painful. It's like chewing broken glass reading this book. I can't do it. Well, I just get rid of it. It was no big deal. There was very little risk in it. And it expanded. And I through that, I found a lot of authors I really enjoyed who were, you know, unknowns. They're not established, you know, Hugo Award winners or anything like that. So I really, really started to read a lot of people I wouldn't normally read. And, you know, for me, I love the space opera kind of books, so many volumes. And if it worked, I would buy, you know, the next book and the next one and the next one and read all the way through. So I think there can be a real advantage. I think that it will help the indies a little bit in that same way. Certainly new titles that people have not heard of, because, you know, if we can get the price structure out close to or around how Kindle's working it, I think more people will be willing to try a title they may not have tried. I mean, really, that's kind of what's behind the theory. You know, as a thank you to our viewers that watch our show every week, the Dynamite 10-pack is kind of like that as well. You know, we have a lot of great titles, love for you to see them and love for you to pick them up. And we do this at $5, so it's 50 cents a title. So that the risk factor of you picking up something new is almost negligible. All right. So, you know, it kind of, you know, two things going on there. So Josh went, Lars Man with a great obituary that would make if comics come crashing down, though he died the way he lived. Book series, I just doubled their price range for a physical copy. It's a 228-page prose novel. Just know.
What's the novels, man? They get crazy now.
Well, you got something in mind.
I got two.
All right.
I thought there was something, so I was going to add a Red Sonja Black, White, and Red Virgin cover.
Very cool.
And the Jennifer Blood Virgin cover.
So we should run the contest when, Robbie? When do you want to spin the wheel?
We've been doing it at the bottom of the hour.
Okay. So
you know what though?
Want to do it now?
You want to run it now?
No. I was going to say, do it at like 7:45. Give everybody 34 minutes to sign in.
All right.
Well, I do it a little bit earlier than that, only because we don't want the frenzy with the best offer books.
All right.
You know, this way, because there's usually a little bit of a frenzy towards the end. But yeah, so that is the prize. So everybody understands how the contest works. I'm on Robbie's show on Friday evenings, and Robbie's on our show on Monday evenings. And basically, if you put anything in the chats tonight, you are entered to win a prize.
No purchase necessary.
Show. No purchase necessary. Just throw something on the chat. Doesn't matter.
Look at what Lars Miller. No, we're not going to use that as the hashtag. No, I haven't eaten anything, Adrian. You know what I had? I had these Italian candies. So I'm going through a sugar withdrawal. I spiked up real quick.
You know, he didn't actually ask that, did he?
You doing okay today? Oh, Jesus. This really is bad. Plain vegans. There you go. I think that's the one.
So if you enter the chats tonight, you automatically enter into a drawing on Robbie's show, and then whoever enters the chat in Robbie's show automatically enters into the drawing.
By the way, just as a quick FYI, this is my favorite book of the night.
Which one you will know?
Star Wars 108.
Well, you know what? We should do that one next.
Let's do it then.
Ronald's like hashtag don't slap me.
I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that.
Oh, we've been talking about it all through the show tonight, man. We don't care. All right. So that is a very nice book. So it is Star Wars number 108, signed by legendary Walt Simonson, suggested retail of $99.99. And we have it tonight for $77 for the year that Star Wars hit the theaters. Only 77 were ever signed. And this one is number 5 of 77.
Simonson to me is one of the GOATs in comic book art and has to me one of the most distinctive, awesome signatures out there when you meet him in person. When you meet him in person, he'll put some wings on there and draw a little face on that O, and you got a Thor sketch from Walter Simonson. It's dope.
Taki 616, thanks for joining us, man. Station brother.
By the way, I'm a boomer. What does GOAT mean?
Greatest of all time.
Boomer. I'm a boomer, and I know what GOAT means. Greatest of all time.
Oh, okay. Now I know.
Actually, the one we call the greatest of all time in football is probably a boomer as well. He's so old.
By now.
Oh my gosh. So
are we almost the same age?
Yes.
Okay.
And so's Tom Brady.
Did you just boomer Nick and y'all are the same age?
No, he said
I said I'm a boomer.
Yeah, so
By the way, just as an FYI, I don't even know what a boomer is. I just hear old people called boomers. So I just
You're a baby boomer that young people have now turned it into an insult.
Oh, all right.
So, well, technically we're not.
Somebody buy the Star Wars because I love it.
Are y'all not
so
Generation
much.
X?
Number 5.
Surely y'all are Generation X. Y'all Gen X, right?
I'm actually on the border. The cutoff is technically 1965. So being that I actually relate more to boomers than I do Generation X.
So is anybody going to buy the Star Wars? My favorite book? No? Oh, well. Let me go back and eat my Italian candy.
There you go. Get some more sugar in your system, boomer. So, all right. So, you know what? Let's hit the next book, too. Infinite Frontier number 2, signed by Joshua Williamson. Suggested retail of $49.99, and it is available tonight. We have one for $39.99. It is 11 of 27, limited edition.
Nice. This is a really great book. I'm a big fan of it. I think Joshua Williamson is one of the best mainstream writers at DC right now. I think he's killing it. I'm really excited to see what he's got coming out. So this is a really cool book.
Agreed. And kind of seeing, really building to the next phase of DC as well. So where Rupin's side, it'll be here, buddy, unless somebody else claims it. So we'll do a recap in a couple minutes here. All right. You know what? How about we do another CCA? We did one.
Let's do it.
All right. This one, I think we may have done this before, but I'm a big fan of it. So I love this one. Avengers number 1, Black Panther sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is one of our 5-star books at $50. That's Chadwick Boseman, obviously.
Yes. I really like the effect too, where he's got the like kind of like the panel almost, and that's his real face, and then the mask over it. It's a cool variation on that. I like that.
It's always amazing, seeing the stuff that he does with connecting covers or wraparound covers and how he gets everything lined up like that. I find it to be amazing. But again, I am a huge Ken Hazer fan, as anybody that's watched the show knows. Taki says Brady is probably Generation X. Yeah, you're correct. You are correct, Taki. He's at least 10 years younger than me, so that makes him.
He's like what age is he right now?
He is 43 and some change. He'll be.
He's right there on the cusp. Then I'm 40, and I'm like technically I'm a millennial by like in the very beginning of it. I'm kind of on that edge like you are. Right. So not that it matters. It's like a horoscope. I'm both Libra and Taurus or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I'm both Gen X and a millennial.
I got to tell you, JD, I love avocado no matter what. So when avocado toast came around, I was loving it. So talking about Tom Brady, I think John Spilios is the Bucs fan. I heard this from a colleague here at work today. I have not seen it on the news. I have not seen it on the website. Is Brady 45? I thought he was 43 and some change. I might be wrong, but John, so I might be wrong about this, but don't panic. Don't have a heart attack. I heard some rumors that Brady wants to go to Miami. But I thought he's under contract until next year with the Bucs. So anybody else has heard this rumor? I have not really researched it, but you would think something like that would hit the news sites. I have not seen it today. So if anybody's heard anything like this, let us know. Throw it up onto the chat board. I think Brady. I think John's right, because I think part of the reason Brady's coming back is because he wants to. He had said he would play until he was 45. And I guess he wants to do that. And I think he wants to get a farewell tour like Dirk Nowitzki got, when he announced his retirement his final year. It'd be kind of nice, to go around and, every away game, having people standing ovation and maybe playing a little video of your career on the Jumbotron and, do that whole 9 yards. I think he wants to do that. John Spilios, if he was moving, he wouldn't help recruit free. I would agree with that. I thought it was a rumor as well, and I believe he's still under contract anyway. And and the Bucs were left kind of in a tough position when he retired for 45 days, but luckily he came back. So, I didn't think that would be the case, but somebody said that that's what they heard. So, what do you get though? Let's see.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and say what Spilio means to say to you, Rex, and that is, keep my quarterback out your mouth.
Boy, this thing is going to live forever. I swear, man. It is absolutely going to live forever.
Just wait till I do my movie review tonight. I'm going to milk every ounce of this, man.
You should get like a looping sound reel of somebody getting slapped.
Oh, man.
You get hit it every
It was the G.I. Jane joke.
Oh my God. All right. So let's see. Should we do another CCA? What do you think?
Yes. Let's do the symbiote one. And Stevie B, they did the Red Sonja Mars Attacks Red Sonja. That was a couple of years ago, but they just the Bueller variant just came out. So, but that was a really cool series. If you've never read it, Mars Attacks Red Sonja was awesome.
All right, so let's do it. We're going to do Venom #1, blank variant signed and cover sketch art in color by Ken Hazer, suggested retail of $89.99. And we have one available for $62.19 for $19.62.
Love this cover.
We had something similar. I think it was last week. Maybe it was the week before. And it was the Wolverine, remember? The multiple Wolverine head sketches.
Yeah, so this one really gets me because I'm a big Venom head, and Lethal Protector was my jam, and that's where we get introduced to the Life Foundation symbiotes, which are these symbiotes. It's
right.
It's Phage and Riot, Lasher, Scream, and I always forget the other one's name. I'm blanking on it right now. Someone will remind me. The purple one. What's her name? Anyway,
John Spilios Toxin.
It's not Toxin. Toxin is Toxin's different, but well, we don't have to worry about it. Agony's her name. That's what it is. Agony.
So
Agony,
Spilios,
Scream, Riot, Lasher, Phage. Cool.
So John Spilios says he'll take one more year of Brady for 30 years of bad football.
Sounds good.
Which may be what you're getting ready for, buddy.
That's the deal that the Cowboys made back in 1995, so I don't know if that's a good one.
Let's see. Adrian says, so true. I just got my comment. Okay. Yeah. Again, as an indie publisher, you have to pump out that quality product. You don't have the kind of muscle that Marvel has or DC has. So
Scout has great paper quality. We just got our shipment in today, so we got those books in, and we also got the Rad Wraith and a bunch of others, and the trade paperback for By the Horns, which is a personal favorite of mine. Is one of my favorite comics last year. Right. And for the first time ever, if you buy a physical trade paperback, you turn it around and there's a quote from me on it. So that's really cool. So station a Scout for that. That's awesome.
And you know what? It kind of brings up another point, I guess, is that how is it that they're using the paper shortage as a reason, but it hasn't really happened to the independents?
I'm sorry about that great paper stock.
There we go.
Exactly.
But seriously, I mean, that's a really valid point. It's like, I'll be honest, I'm not in editorial or anything like that, but I work in the office, so you hear stuff, and I haven't heard an issue of a shortage of the particular paper. I mean, we've gone through a shortage of long boxes and short boxes. That's been hard to get. But we don't actually manufacture it ourselves. And if Marvel really wanted it, who's going to fight with them? We can't. Scout can't. Image can't. I mean, you know what I mean? So it's like Mike Tyson fighting a baby.
Out of curiosity, where are we at on best offers?
Let's see. We have Lars Man.
Hey, John, how you doing?
We have Lars Man in at $20 on a Venom. We have Lars Man in the lead, $19.77 on Star Wars #1. We have Ron in the lead at $25 for Thor's #1. And let's see.
Lars is in cheap on everything.
And then Miles Morales is 9.8. Jen King is at 60.
So let's see.
And Women of Dynamite, Space Cadets, Jen King is at 85.
So the Venom number 35, the big 200 issue, Silver Signature Series, #2 of 35. Wow. By the way, it's #2. That says number 15. It's a different scan. It's #2, all. Check it out. So you are getting number 2. Right now, Lars has got it cheap. What else again?
What else?
I'm going to go one at a time. Sorry.
All right. So let's just go through one at a time. So Venom Legacy #200, Stegman variant, signed by Ryan Stegman.
All right.
All right. So Larsman is in the lead at 20.
Yep.
Star Wars #1, facsimile signed by Howard Chaykin.
Oh man, there's only 25 of these in the world. By the way, this is number 15. These are old scans. There's only 25 of these in the world, and this is at 1977. Lars, by the way, I love you. If you get it cheap, that is awesome. So, but this is a $70 book. Only 25 in the world. Nick needs his eye checked. Only 125 in the world. This is what happened when you only have sugar for dinner. This is worse than a veggie sandwich. All right, what's next?
So,
Miles Morales, Spider-Man. That's $70.
Ron, you are correct. Sorry about that, Ron. I misread that one. So you are correct.
beautiful.
You are at 70. You are in the lead.
All right, what else?
Let's see. Thor's #1, signed and cover sketch of Gore by Ken Hazer. Ron is in the lead at 25.
Ron, oh man, that's pretty cool.
Then Miles Morales, as we said, Ron is in the lead. The CGC 9.8. Ron is in the lead at 70. And then Women of Dynamite, Deja Thor statue, black and white artist proof. Jen King is in the lead at 85.
Nice.
So
nice.
Lars, let me know if you want to up that. on the statue, let us know, my friend.
By the way, anybody pick up the Infinite Frontier, number 11 of 27?
They have not yet, no.
Guys, I got to tell you, great read, and with everything that's happening with Death of the Justice League, it's a good time to pick it up. And so, let's see, what else?
I've read Death of the Justice League, and it's awesome. I think I'm really pumped for what Josh Williamson's doing. That's what I was saying. This book right here was really good. And Josh Williamson right now, I know everybody talks about Tynan and Ram V. They're still doing their things. But as far as the main line for DC, Josh Williamson is it right now.
He's rocking. Dwayne's
a pain. I got you, buddy.
Josh Williamson has been rocking it for years now.
Yes.
And he's finally starting to get the attention he deserves.
You're a big Flash fan. His Flash run was fantastic, Nick.
Out of this world.
Loved it.
Matter of fact, there's you know what? We'll leave it at that. But Infinite Frontier is a good one to get. No, because the guy who drew it, and I can't believe Howard Porter doesn't draw traditionally. He draws digitally. So I was upset because I wanted to buy art from it and I couldn't. The story was so good. The art was so beautiful, and I couldn't get any. The slab in the middle of the top rack is Detective 1000, Ronald. This is a big one. This is 500 MSRP, and if I remember correctly, we're doing it for $270. So, Ronald, if this is one of the ones you want to pick up and you need a little bit of time payment, we know you're good for it, buddy. But yeah, Infinite Frontier is one of my picks. Amazing Spider-Man's a pick. I think the Venom with the 5 Venom heads is a pick. So this is really, really good night. There's a lot of high-quality books here. I'm telling you, that slap across the world just threw everything off.
Certainly did.
Amy, Amy was asking me, actually, like, can you really get in trouble for that? I'm wondering whether or not she wanted to, like, punch me. Like, did I do something wrong? Like, I don't know.
She got to find out that New Jersey law.
I better say, yeah, you can get in trouble for that.
Well, it's a problem when you do it on national television.
Well, right? I was reading somewhere that he could wind up getting 6 months in jail and $100,000 fine if Chris Rock pressed charges. But
yeah, Chris isn't gonna. You know what? Everybody got heated last night. It was emotional. I'm sure everybody feels bad about it, and it's really. I'm sure it's just. It's something that I'm sure everybody regrets that happened. I mean,
it's crazy. Celebrities are just like us. They're real people too, right?
They are.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't go into a public venue and slap somebody across the face.
I've seen that happen plenty of times.
It's a tough thing because his wife does have, the alopecia, and
I understand. I think Chris Rock shouldn't have made that joke, but man,
he probably didn't know. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe not, but Amy and I jumped in here at the beginning of the show. To me, it's just as an adult, but not only that, as the beloved movie star and superstar, you got to have more self-control than that, man.
No, and I would say normally you do. I mean, look, if you said something about me, I would probably hold on to my cool more than if somebody said something about Pam. If somebody said something about Pam, I'd freak out differently.
I guess for me, if you're making your living doing, your living is people watching you, your movies, everything else. You can't, you can't expect to have the same forgiveness as say somebody else. I mean, you should have more control than that.
This is another great book, by the way. I don't know if anybody picked this up.
No, not yet.
What's it at? What's it priced at?
It's at $38.
You know what? Let's make it $19.39.
All right.
Silver Signature Series, Tom King, number 5 of only 59. And I think we did 59 because Supergirl first appeared in 1959. So this is going to be, what I say it was?
It was 38, but now you said it's 1939.
Okay, 1938. Let's do the year.
1938.
38, the year Superman first appeared. And it's sold.
All right, Adrian.
Can I get a sold sticker, Amy?
All right, and we have to go to our last and final break, and then we should probably do the drawing for the giveaway. It was what? Jennifer Blood and let me see, which were these two?
Her art is amazing, Adrian. We were very lucky. Emily started,
and I hate to take that shot. Excellent paper quality, by the way.
Yes.
So we'll run our giveaway as soon as we get back. All right, so stay with us.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
All right, and we're back. All right, so we're going to do the drawing real quick.
Wait.
Okay.
Let me just a few more. I want to get some action here. What was the Star Wars by Walt Simonson? My favorite book of the night.
$77.
All right, we're gonna make this $40. Let's see somebody jump on it.
Oh,
Walt
wow.
Simonson, number 4. This is a really special book. Only 77. You know what? Tell you what. Let's cut it in half. Instead of 77, let's go with, instead of 40, let's do 38.50. So 38.50. This is my favorite book of the night.
All right, Larsman, you got it, buddy.
Oh, whoa.
What?
Werpenstein claimed it first.
Yep, actually. Sorry about that, Larsman.
All right, so 38.50. All right, let's see. What else we got here tonight? What else? Listen, Star Wars 45th anniversary. That's all I got to say. What did we got the Howard Chaykin at? What did I say that was at?
38.50.
No, that was no.
Oh, Howard Chaykin. It was Lars Mann's already leading at 1977. It's
Perfect. Let's see. What else do we have?
Hold on a second. Brandon wants to know about the Venom #1 cover sketch art.
Oh yeah,
okay. We did do it, but nobody's picked it up yet, my friend.
What do we got this at?
$62.19.
Ooh, $62.19. We'll make it 55 for the first person that claims it. 55. And Jeff Wedding's at 25 on the Star Wars. So 55.
Hold on there, Jeff.
So we're going to go through the Marvel Atlas years with the monsters, since these guys are monsters. So,
all right. And just remember, Jeff, be sure to fill out the submission form.
Claim.
All right, Brandon's. Let me find you here, Brandon. Here we go.
Let's have a little bit more fun. We're having fun.
What about that Fantastic Four? Isn't there an FF down there? We haven't gotten to that one yet.
All right. How about we do, how much is this? This is number 18 out of 50. Ken did not want to do more than 50 of these because look at how much he put into this.
Yeah, that's also signed by Steve Epting.
Ooh, and it's signed by Epting.
And we have it at $50, and it's number 18 of 50.
That's gorgeous. That's a gorgeous looking thing.
Fantastic. This is an $89.99 book. Can you show the thumbnail of it, please? You talking about this, Steve? Oh, there. That, tell you what, and what do we got that at? 50?
50.
Let's make it 40 for the Fantastic Four.
Nice.
All right. This is number 18. We're going to make it 40 for the Fantastic Four. What else we got? Come on.
Let's see. Well, we have The Walking Dead. That's at 1992.
Oh, 1992. How did nobody jump on this?
Signed by Stefano Guadiana.
Ooh, and we sold the FF.
Okay, Lars Man. Okay, is claiming the FF. Gotcha, Lars Man.
All right, what do we got The Walking Dead at? 1992?
1992.
Nice. This is number 16 of 25. Hey, we got the graphic right this time. All right. So what do we think? Oh, man. I'll go down to $18. I mean, that's just not much above cost if you got to count everything that gets involved. All right, what else we got here? Did we do the Iron Man, Invincible Iron Man?
We have not yet. So, Invincible Iron Man number 25, signed by Matt Fraction.
I need another sold, Amy.
Walking Dead got claimed.
The Walking Dead. How much?
We have it at $59.99. Invincible Iron Man.
All right, so I do. They're right here. There you go. My handwriting's terrible.
All right, so Brandon is claiming The Walking Dead.
All right, Matt Fraction is writing in Hollywood. He's not doing that many movies anymore. I don't even remember what I'm putting this on. Oh, I just need more in general. Got it. Tell you what. I'm going to do something I never thought I'd do. We'll do this for $39 for Tales of Suspense 39, first appearance of Iron Man.
Nice.
Matt Fraction signatures are very difficult to get. I don't want to say impossible, but difficult.
It's a great cover, too. Great cover.
Oh, it's a fantastic cover. I love... Why am I doing this?
Salvador Larroca, I believe.
Yep. Fantastic book. Yeah, no, this was a great run. So, all right. So, 39 should be... It is higher, but we're going to leave it at 39. Did anybody pick up the Infinite Frontier? Or is that best offer?
That is a buy it now at $39.99.
Tell you what, because I really want somebody to get this to read it, we will do, and look at the cool different certificate we did here. Look at that. Really cool. We will do this one at 1960, the year the Justice League first appeared in Brave and the Bold 28. So 1960.
That's a fantastic deal.
Anybody but Ronald, because Ronald won't read it. No, I'm only kidding, Ronald. Who torched the place? It's Stevie B. I'm trying to get you to buy something. You tell me you spent all your money Friday night. I think you didn't. I think you still got some left. I don't know. All right, so let's see. Ronald, seriously, the Detective 1000, like I said, you can do a payment plan. Is there anything else that has not been? Oh, Walking Dead sold. That's right. That's why I needed a sold sign. All right.
We haven't done the Alex Ross signature yet, have we?
No, we have not.
We have not. Number 15 at $2.99. All right. We were not going to discount this. Okay, we were not. This was at full price, right, Rex?
That is correct.
Now, two reasons. One, it's number 15. I mean, check it out. That is so cool. Two, Alex Ross signatures, we can't get them anymore. He only signs for his store when he signs. He doesn't do conventions. And when he does conventions, he prefers to sign the art books, is my understanding. I don't know 100%, but that's what I seem to remember. And his signature is really, really valuable. Now, obviously, you can get some books at alexross.com if you want to get some signed books that he's selling. So, you know, we were going to do this at full MSRP, but I tell you what, the Invaders were in the 1940s. We'll do that. Oh, that would only be knocking off $6 if I did $194. All right, tell you what. Tonight only, I'll do $150. All right, I'll do $150. It's nice. A Nick Blood Sugar Too High blowout. It really, really is.
That's a quarter off.
It is, and not just 22 bits, a real quarter. Where are we at on the Spider-Man?
Which one?
Dan Slott sign number 5. What is this with the number 5? Only 180 of these in the world. So yeah, so the Invaders is 150, and I'll pay the $5 that JD charges to change the price. So, all right. And then I'm going to get out of here because you guys got to actually sell some stuff.
Flip that book around. Let me see.
Did you see the photo of some of my framed Alex Ross books I texted you? Did you just text
that's signed by okay. That's signed by the Dodsons, right?
Yeah, it's signed by the Dodsons.
$39.99.
Oh, that's a good price. Jesus.
He's surprised,
I mean, that's like,
wow, okay. We're not going to.
I was about to say we'll do it for 50. So this is number 5. I'll look for them again, Ronald. I apologize if I missed them. Some days I get huge text days. All right. I'm going to make this 35. This is a huge book. This is number 5. Check it out.
That's a great cover, too. Got Deadpool, Spider-Man, and Black Cat front and center.
Oh, yeah. And this is from what year?
All right, Lars, man. You got it, buddy.
Amy, need another sold sticker. All right. So nobody picked up the Iron Man yet. Nobody picked up the Alex Ross, which I get, by the way. Dwayne's a pain. If you were claiming the Spider-Man, Lars Man beat you by like 2 seconds. I'm really sorry.
Or is it the same?
Huh?
Did you change Spider-Man? Or is
I
it the
did.
same?
I don't remember what I changed it to. What did I change it to?
35.
35.
Okay.
Thank you, Ronald. All right. What else we got? So we got best offer. Nobody's buying the Infinite Frontier at what price did I say?
1960.
Guys, 1960. Check it out. Death of the Justice League is happening. All right.
It's good too. I read it. I liked it. Do we has anybody picked up that Black Panther yet? Oh, is that the one that you just
No.
What do we got that at?
That is, let's see here. That is 50.
50? You know what? First appeared in the Fantastic Four. Let's do 40. Tonight only, $40.
Nice.
What about the Deadpool?
The Deadpool was at 50.
And you know what? Since we had the 2 of these at 40, we'll make this 40 as well. So this is your chance. 5-star at 50 is what we usually do. Tonight, 40 on each.
Fantastic Four at 40.
Well, you know what? And it is 4 of them that you can buy. Well, that one sold. That's Go Robbie's name all over it. All right. So, all right, everybody. Thank you. You all rock. This has been great. So don't forget all the best offers right now. Thor's, I think, is still really, really, really cheap.
Yeah, about to be a movie star, Gore is.
He is. I know Star Wars is really cheap. So, Lars, man, you may be stealing it away. Is the Miles Morales a best offer?
The Miles Morales is a best offer, and Ron is in the lead at 70.
Nice. So, everybody, let these guys feel good. Start claiming stuff with me not in the room.
All right. So, what we should do is
why y'all got to make us look bad and only claim stuff when Nick's in the room?
So we should run the contest.
Yes, we should. Got it loaded up. This is from our conversation about the paper quality issues over the week. And just going to say, Rex, since we started doing these topics, highest viewed video yet that we've done.
Oh, cool.
Very popular video. Lots of comments here. And hold on. Something happened. All right, here we go. Now it's spinning. Michael Hurt.
Michael
is that.
Hurt.
So, yes.
All right.
We'll look into him, see who that is, because I don't necessarily recognize that name. And we'll be in touch. Thank you, everybody, for checking out the video. And, of course, on Friday's show, when who knows what we're going to talk about. But anybody in the chat today, you're entered to win a contest that will reveal the winner on Friday.
And JD's reminding everybody there's 10 minutes on the best offers. So I'm going to go through those one more time. The Venom Legacy number 200, signed by Ryan Stegman. Lars Man is in the lead at $20. Star Wars number 1, facsimile signed by Howard Chaykin. Jeff Wedding is in the lead at $25. Thor's number 1, signed by signing cover sketch of Gore by Ken Hazer. Ron is in the lead at 25. Let's see. And then Miles Morales, Ron is in the lead at 70. And then let's see. The Women of Dynamite, Deja Thoris, Dwayne Zapane is in the lead at 90. So that is the best offers. And always keep in mind there's lag time. So don't wait until the last minute because it takes a little time for whatever reason for it to get to us. Yeah, I'm curious to hear what Friday's topic's going to be. All right, Lars Man, you're offering 30 on the Star Wars. Let me find it. Okay, Lars Man, you got it, 30.
I am I'm tempted to go with the Will Smith route, but it's going to be old news by then, by Friday. But surely something's going to happen to spawn an idea. So Ron says he just read an article that
it's going to be old news by Friday, but Ron just said he read an article that says Will Smith apologized to Chris Rock on Instagram, saying his behavior was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jeff Wedding is up to 35 on the Star Wars. Gotcha.
They were saying his publicist was showing up talking to him at every single commercial break that whole night from that point on.
I think it was inevitable, obviously, that Will Smith would have to apologize. But
real quick, JD, go Ronald. Unless you tell me no, JD, look at your email. Pop out this beautiful framed wall that Ronald has of Alex Ross.
Go ahead and do that, and then we actually have 2 more books we got to get to.
I want to see that.
Oh, wait till you see it. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. I'll show it. This is going to be, unfortunately, kind of small. JD will show it better. Look at that frame.
That's cool.
Yeah. Dynamite Alex Ross. You know what, Ronald? You got first choice at this. We'll give you a full minute to make a decision. If you pass, somebody else can have it. This is a $500 book. That really inspired me seeing that. This is a $500 book. CGC graded 9.8, pure pencils by Dan Jurgens. You got Bob Kane, Shelley Moldoff, Carmine Infantino, Neil Adams, Frank Miller, New 52, Today's Batman. $500 book. We were going to do $270. I'm going to make it $193.90. $193, right, with the Alex Ross commission cover art. So hopefully JD can show it. $193.90. That's 60+% off. And if you need payment terms, let us know. We'll take care of it. Sorry, that was Ronald. Just really, that thing was beautiful. Seeing that, you know how proud that makes you as a publisher, seeing a fan love it so much. Shoot. All right. Well, we're gonna have to live with my image then. So I'll show it one more time. And the white is the Shadow commission cover art by Alex. There we go. You can probably see it better now that I'm pulling it out.
All right. So Ron will claim the Batman, I believe.
All right. Give me another sold sticker.
90. You got it, Ron. I got you down, buddy. All right. And then let's see. We have actually 2 last books, Virgin covers. The Panther #2 Virgin cover. Suggested retail of $50, and we have one available tonight for $40. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Nice cover.
All right. So that is available tonight. And we also have the
Peach Momoko Vampirella Unholy.
Vampirella Dracula Unholy #4 Peach Momoko Virgin cover. We suggest retail of $50, and we have one available for $40.
It's a great cover.
That is a great cover.
I love the silhouette of the tree and the bats and the moonlight and all that. That's really nice.
So after Ron's article, how much pressure do you think he got from the agent, the publicist, and everything else that he has to make a formal apology?
Yeah. I mean, of course he does, and I'm sure Chris Rock's going to make a formal apology over the joke or something, They're going to squash it. It's squashed.
I don't think it's going to be old news by Friday, bro. I don't. I don't think so, man. It is in flux. That's how I see it. So it should be interesting. It should be interesting. Or it is a big conspiracy plan.
Well, here we are, day after the Oscars. Nobody cares about them necessarily anymore. Not as many people. It's not that nobody cares, but not as many people care about the Oscars anymore. Here we are talking about them. So people are going to watch next year. It's like that Super Bowl with Janet Jackson. They watch the Super Bowl next year just in case.
I have to admit, there's something to that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Because we've talked about it. We've been reading about it, in the news, how it's lost its luster. And obviously there were a lot of complaints about the Oscars and the movies that were picked. I mean, I know that there's almost a sort of bias against any kind of superhero film.
Yeah.
Other than, special effects categories, things like that. So viewership was getting, going down, in the toilet every year. So, and then all of a sudden, Will Smith smacks Chris Rock. It makes you think. I mean,
just imagine a shady conversation backstage where they're like, "Will, we're going to give you the best actor, but you got to take one for the team. We're going to need you to go and slap Chris Rock."
Yeah, but the thing about it is the reason I think that's not possible is because, I mean, what would motivate Chris Rock and Will Smith to help the Oscars?
I know. I just,
there's no amount of money. What are you going to do?
It was just a joke, Rex. I wasn't being serious.
No, I know, but there's some people that actually, believe it, that it's a big thing. If it was anybody else, I would say, somebody of a lesser kind of, whatever, but you never know. The Janet Jackson moment. Yep. Let's see. Speaking of similar Janet Jackson moment last night, two people aren't talking about, who, well,
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I guess anything's possible, but to me, it seemed fairly legit. And let's see, Wu-Tang. Hey, thanks for joining us, Wu-Tang.
That's hilarious.
Fresh Prince.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna steal that one for my movie review tonight. I'm gonna steal that one. Fresh Prince. That's great.
Oh my God, that is too funny. So tell us, what is the movie tonight that you're going to be reviewing again?
Tonight, we're going to be talking about the 1986 slasher film, April Fool's Day, because Friday is April Fool's Day.
That's true. That is true.
And so every holiday has a themed slasher film, and I actually like April Fool's Day. And if you're familiar with that film, it's divisive with the way that it all ends. And so I'm very excited to see what my crew has to think about it, because I personally like that movie a lot. So that's what we're covering tonight.
And Stevie B, in 5 years, ask what movie won Best Picture, and I'm sure most people will say The Slap. Sounds like a hockey movie. That was unreal. That was absolutely unreal. And as I told you earlier in the show, I don't watch the Oscars anymore. It used to be a big event. People at work would have their pools and everything else of who's going to win. Best movie, best actor, best actress, whatever. Coda. I heard that was a bit. I've never seen it. Don't even know what it's about. The only thing I know about Coda was I watched the Day Show in the morning before I come to work, and they made a joke. They photoshopped Hoda in there, and they called the movie Hoda instead of Coda, and I guess they had the actors there, but I've never heard of the movie either.
Well, the big thing about that one is that was like, I think, an Apple TV or something original. So that's the first time a streaming platform won Best Picture. So that's actually
wait a minute. I did hear about this film, or rather, because now that Marcus and Jeff and Marcus is like, nobody heard of Coda since they're deaf. So I did see a little bit about that movie. What's her, Matlin, the woman? Yeah, so I did hear about it. I haven't seen it.
10 seconds.
10 seconds to get your best offers in, people. But no, I haven't seen the film. I feel like the Oscars have kind of made themselves a little irrelevant, and that's unfortunate.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore. Now
they're relevant today. They're relevant today, at least.
All right. So I am always interested to hear what the topic of conversation will be on Friday. So we'll see. I guess we'll kind of float and see what the next several days will bring us, if this is still in the news. And I will be very interested to see it. And maybe it's time that Will Smith took on Kanye. I don't know. That'll be like a cage match at MMA.
They should do like a battle album, like a concept album and a movie.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's what
there you go.
I'm just giving them that idea for free. They can take it and run with it. I don't want anything.
Yeah, you don't want to get slapped. That's why. Dwayne Zapane, thanks for joining us, buddy. As always, I want to take a couple minutes just to thank everybody that's taking time out tonight to watch our show. We certainly appreciate it. You guys make the show. We love doing it. Always a good time with Robbie. Thank you to JD, our producer behind the scenes. It's always a great time. I mean, you never know what we're going to talk about. certainly Will Smith and Chris Rock gave us something to talk about. Unavoidably, I'm glad we got to talk about the topic from Friday about the paper and the quality of it. But man, I was like, wow, I saw that last night. Yeah, as I said, I was half asleep, and I was thinking, what? Is this a gag? You know, what are they doing? I listened to a little bit more, and I find out, oh, it's not a gag. So I knew we were probably going to have this conversation. I name anybody in America that did not see that.
Right.
At this point, there's no way.
Even people I know completely disconnected from everything knew about that. Because in my live show last night, at the tail end of it, I saw some comments about Chris Rock and Will Smith, but I couldn't piece together what was being talked about.
Right.
And then, I get done with my show. I watch a little bit of, TV, a little bit of Sports Center, and I go lay down. I fall asleep. I wake up this morning, and it is the first thing. And it was the first thing I did was watch this video. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Exactly.
Crazy, dude. It is crazy.
What a weird, surreal moment that we've all gotten to share today and yesterday, right? Like, this is something that could possibly unite us as fans of pop culture and celebrity.
Right. The war in Ukraine will suddenly end because of this.
Yeah, right.
How crazy is this stuff?
Maybe. You never know.
But what do we have? Mishmash coming up after this show on the Experience. I'm sorry, at 8:00. Be sure to tune in to Robbie's show tonight on his YouTube channel, Pop Culture Philosophers. He will be reviewing April Fool's Night, another one of his horror films, and always a great show. And be sure to join us on Wednesday. We'll have AR Comics, Alec, with us. He'll be doing the show with us. And then on Friday, I will be back on Robbie's show for the topic of the day. We don't know what that topic will be. Josh went, tell Putin to diss Jada's hair. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate it. And we will see you all later this week.